Hello, hello. Happy Family Day, everybody. It was a quick one. Just going to see that I have people. Oh, I do have people. Hello, hello. Yes, Shelby is on as two Scrapbook friends. Thank you for being here. Someone, I don't know the name of the person because I just have a Carrick 7762 says, I think this is the second time I was able to catch a live and not a repost. Woohoo! Well, tonight is our first launch party for our, we're calling it Moments and Memories now. We're not calling it our calendar series anymore because we've grown. We are doing more than just calendars. I think a lot of people have jumped in just to use these pages in their albums, which is what I'm doing. But I don't think they necessarily always do the calendar side, but we thought it was time for a rebranding, and we're excited that this is our 4th year doing this. We're entering our 4th year. I have 3 complete years, which is so exciting. And I'm looking forward to another one. So we will probably release these around the 15th of the month. We used to try to do it towards the beginning of the month, but there's often things going on around that time, like our click and save and other things. So we have to sort of stay clear of that. So I'm going to try for around the 15th. It might be a little bit before that sometimes, depending on where things fall. But we are excited to be offering another year. And for selfish reasons, you know, that's how I get my scrapbooking done. Otherwise, I would have nothing. And I have 3 complete albums, including title pages. So tonight, we're not only going to release the January page, but we are going to release the title page for last year's series. And that's more of an inspirational page. There's no official bundle for it. We do have some materials up on our online store. I believe there is a section, and I should have checked this before I went live. I didn't really talk to Shelby too much today, but I know she was busy doing things. So here we are, January 2026. Okay, so let me see here. I'm not sure what she's all got in here, but it looks fabulous. So maybe she can chime in and just let us know for sure. And that's my bad for not communicating with her. Okay, so there's going to be a special section. It's in 2025. Okay, because it goes with the 2025 calendar, which makes sense. So I'm in the wrong section here. So let's just back out. 2025. Yes. Okay. So you will see a title page section in there. And that is where you're going to find the information. By mistake. See, I'm clicking buttons. Everybody still there? Okay. I'm clicking buttons and I went right out of my software. So yes, we have a separate section for the 2025 title page, which is under the 2025 tab for the calendar series. And then we have our new Moments and Memories series for 2026. So when I show you the title page for this, mine is going to say 2024. Okay, because I always scrapbook the year before. Oh, did you lose me for a second? I'm so sorry. That was me. I pushed the wrong button. But I'm here. Yeah, I was clicking buttons on my screen. I shouldn't do that while I'm live. That's a bad thing. But anyways, I'm going to be showing you my title page, and it will have the year 2024 on it, not 2025. But you will have the opportunity to customize it however you want. So that's up to you. But we're going to get started. So what I said about the title page, I hinted at it a few times throughout the year. I'm going to bring a whole stack of stuff up here. was to save all your bits from all of the months that you participated in, because I had this idea in my head that I was going to use things that were left over from the bundles and turn it into, and use them for the title page. I didn't promise to, I just suggested that I might. So I'm hoping that you listened and that you saved your bits. So this is all of my stuff from all of the bundles throughout the year. And I had them in a folder on my shelf, and I just sort of organized them. And this is what I'm going to be using. Now, obviously, you're not using all of it because that's an awful lot of stuff. But I did create a page using bits and pieces of the stuff that was left over. So I'm hoping that this is going to show. I'm kind of zoomed in 1.4 times, but I'm hesitant to see if I can get it to go out. Did I? That's too far. Okay, let's see. I can just do a little bit, maybe a little bit more. No, it really wants to. Oh, there's one. Okay, good. There we go. So this is the page that I created using the leftovers from the year. And it sort of summarizes the 4 seasons. So you can see winter, spring, summer, and fall. And there is where it says 2024. So if you did 2025, I just love it too. If you did 2025, then you can change that to a 5. So like I said, there's no official bundle. There will be a section with products that I used that you can purchase. Now you'll notice some familiar things on this page, and I'm going to point them out. But most of it is created using bits of things that were left over from the bundles each month. Now, if you didn't save them, or maybe you kind of did your own thing each month and you used stuff that I didn't use from the bundle, it's okay. You likely have tons of stuff in your stash that you can pull out and create something very similar. So don't stress about it. Well, I'm glad you guys love it. I love it too. I think it might be an annual thing, to be honest with you. Thank you, Shelby. She's reminding everybody that it's going to be under the 2025 calendar series blob on the online store. That's where you're going to find that section. Don't look in the 2026 one, because this finishes off the album for last year. So I think this is kind of going to be an annual design. I mean, like I said, I don't like to promise things because, you know, something great might happen throughout the year and I'll get some brainstorm that might take me down a different path. But I really love how this one turned out. Now, what I want to point out is that I used a lot of the same add-on type things that we've been using throughout the year as well. So if you look at the January page or the January strip, and this is the same for all of them, but I made a very large tag. Now, I've been very consistent with my my love of tags. I always talk about that and how I feel like they're a real staple in my crafting journey. But the top of this tag, I used the same die set that I used in the December page to create the tops of the tags. I just used a different size, and we'll go through the details, but and then the tag reinforcements at the top, well, I use those a lot as well. And then if we move on to the spring, you'll see a tag at the bottom here. And that is using the tag stacklets that I often use on calendar pages. Not everyone, but I use them frequently. Again, another large tag with the same exact set that I used to make this one, plus all the little bits. And then if you move on to summer, I don't think I did anything really crazy in that one. Nope. Just the tag and the reinforcement. But then for the fall one, I even pulled in the stamps and dies that we used on one of our fall pages, and I incorporated them into the top of the tag, and you'll see the acorn and the leaves and everything as well. So that's, again, something that I already suggested as an add-on. Now, whether you chose to get it or not is totally fine. Maybe you had something in your stash that you substituted with. Well, you can substitute on there too. And then the numbers I introduced in the December page. We did the number 25. So if you picked up the numbers for that, then you will have the number set to do the 2025 for this, or in my case, 2024. So it's oh, Shelby just said it. It's a fabulous way to start your album. But really what it is a recap of the year. And what I kind of did was I just picked one of my favorite winter photos, spring photos, summer photos, and fall photos. And they might already be represented in the calendar pages, or it might be new photos. Like you can decide how you want to do it. But that's all I did. And that will look beautiful at the very beginning of my album for 2024. In your case, if you were doing last year, it was 2025. So I do plan on probably using these dies again. Notice the word plan. I plan on using them for the title page for next year as well. But I'm not going to promise because I might come up with another great idea and things might change. But that's kind of the thing. I just feel like this is a really cool design and really easy to repeat each year. So it kind of sums it up. And I mean, I've done title pages in the past that kind of have done the same thing, but I didn't use all the bits and pieces from the year bundles. And I thought it was just kind of a fun thing to do. So this is your page. So we'll come back to this. I'm going to talk about the first layout for the year as well. And then we'll come back to all the details. So here is the layout for the January of 2026. So I had sent out an email letting people know that this event was coming up, and I received an email back from a customer, and she was really confused. She says, why are you releasing the January page in February if January's already happened? So our pages are always released the month after, because if you are scrapbooking currently, then January has to finish before you can actually do a page about it. So that's why I work on my previous years, because the whole idea for me is that I'm supposed to stay ahead of you guys, but that doesn't always happen. And I am scrapbooking the year before. So for all of the people who are current, they're going to be scrapbooking 2026. So 2026 of January has to happen before we can create the page and get it out. So that's why I'm thinking around the 15th of the month is going to be sort of our release date. And, you know, we're going to kind of hope for that time frame. Sometimes I don't order products early enough. I'm kind of waiting for releases to arrive, you know, stuff like that. So there are a lot of factors that go on behind the scenes. And I know there are companies out there that release kits each month and they have things planned, you know, a whole year in advance. I'm not that person. I will fully admit it. I have a busy life running the store. I have a family. I have all those things. And sometimes stuff comes up. Like right now, we're in the middle of transitioning out of our current location and moving into our new location. There is a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. I'm not using it as an excuse, but sometimes we have to shuffle our schedule a little bit. And, you know, we'll do our best to be as consistent as we can. Now, I know some of you are noticing that we have a new title at the top here. That is our new format for 2026. So the last couple of years, I've done different colors for each of the letters. I've chosen different fonts for each year. But this year, I thought I'm going to simplify things a little bit, and we're going to go with one word. So it's you know, all connected together. And yeah, so this is the style that we're going to go with for this year. They will be available for purchase each month like we've done in the past. And it is an add-on because not everybody does this side of the page. So this is the calendar side of the page. So you'll notice in the background here, we've got a calendar grid paper, and you've got your days of the week across the top. So these we would get from Photoplay, but Photoplay suddenly closed their doors. We were not given any warning, and we had to sort of scramble and figure out how we were going to come up with these blank calendar sheets, which we did at a local printer. So the font along the top here is going to change as soon as we run out of these. It is not a drastic change. Personally, if partway through the year I was to start using the new style calendar page, you're not really going to notice much of a difference. If this is really important to you, you might want to stock up on all of your calendar pages right now so that you can get 12 of the same. But to be honest with you, you're not really going to notice a big difference at all. And we cannot guarantee you when you order that you're going to get all 12 the same. If inventory allows you to order 12, that's great, and you will get the 12. But if it doesn't, you might have to get 6 of one, 6 of the other. It's, trust me, not a big deal at all. So don't stress about it. I know all your people are at home going, oh my God. It's really not a big deal. I actually love the new font a little bit better. Then I like this one. This one's just kind of plain, and the other one is a little more whimsical. It's really cool, but you really won't notice a big difference at all. So we have a good supply of those. We've got a local supplier that's making them up for us, so we don't run into any issues with that. So that's pretty fun. But I do like the new title. Now this month, we did cut it out in navy, the color vibe navy. But this month's page is actually very customizable. Okay, so Shelby is saying there's only a handful of the old style left. New one is up in the category 2. Okay, perfect. So this layout is a little bit customizable as far as colors go. So I did cut the title out in 3 different colors because, well, I'll be honest with you, I didn't have enough of this color at home and I wanted to get them all cut. But then I thought, hey, you know what? People might like teal and they might like pink. So most of them are cut out in this color, and the total number of them are enough for everybody to get one. But I'm not recutting. Like if we run out of navy, I'm not recutting navy. So shop early for best selection. But there is teal and pink available as well. And I will show you that when we get going through here. And then as far as the rest of the layout goes, here we go. So we're starting the year off with a really fun new product that you may not have used yet. This is a large pre-cut title from Bella Boulevard. And you likely will see it again at some point throughout the year because there are 2 titles available in the package, and I've split the package. So we're going to get 2 layouts out of it. Now, when I say this is customizable, I mean, you will notice that my sweet granddaughter, Olivia, is wearing a fuchsia pink jacket for the photos. And so I pulled that into my layout colors. So I did my ink blending in that. I did some stamping in that. And that is what, you know, really brings out that color. Now, if I wanted to, I could have used the pink title. Here, I'll bring them over here so you can see. So here's the pink one. So I'm just going to lay this over top. I know it doesn't look exactly the same, but it'll give you the idea. So I could have used the pink title, or I could have used the teal. So all 3 of these colors go really well with everything I'm going to suggest to you today. I'm not special cutting any colors for anybody. That just gets way too crazy. So if you want to go out on your own crafting journey, then you'll have to figure out what you want to do for your January title if these 3 colors don't work. But these 3 are available. There is less teal and pink than there is navy, okay? Because navy is the sort of color that I thought would be more generic for people. So we went with that. But the paper that is underneath this word memories here, we're going to make that with a stamp set. So that is where things become very customizable. There are a few products in the collection that come in your bundle that you're going to want to make your color scheme work around, because those are going to be sort of your base, we'll call it. And yeah, it's awesome. So I'm excited to show you some tips and tricks about these titles that you're going to love. And it is a lot of fun to play with. And I thought it was really cool. Again, not super colorful and bright and vibrant, because I don't think that January is that kind of a month. It's kind of been a white month, a very white month. So I really loved how this one turned out. And we're going to mix and match a lot of products together to get to this point, which is something that I kind of want to bring to your attention, because you don't always have to buy or work with a complete collection in order to create really great things. So I really did piece this together with things from all different companies, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm really letting the photos be the focal point on this, and the embellishments sort of take a backstage, and I kind of like playing like that. So any questions so far? I love the lighter shades that you've used in this layout. Me too. It is a bit more muted, but I feel like, again, you know, if you think of January, if you had to pick colors, I would probably pick sort of like a gray sky, kind of white snow. There's not a lot more going on. So we've got to get the color for the month coming from our pictures. I almost went with black and white pictures on this, but then I decided I really love that pop of color. And I thought, you know what a great way to show you how to customize your page. So I don't see anybody asking any specific questions. So Karen says, love the cut file. I've never used one before. Yes. So again, it's not a new product. Bella Boulevard makes lots of these types of titles, and maybe I should go on a bit of a shopping spree and bring some of them in, because I think once you try one, you're going to want to incorporate these in other layouts that you're doing, because they are really fun. And they do take up, no, Mary, I'm not going to share the name of the font. Actually, this particular set, I don't know the name of the font. It is a complete set of files, and I'm not able to share that information with you. We pay licensing fees to use these things, so it's not something we're going to share. It's something that we sell. So we want you to buy it. If you want to go get creative on your own, you're more than welcome to do that. But those are details I'm not going to share. Okay, so let's get moving. I think we'll go back to the calendar page or the title page first, and we'll kind of get over the details on that. I didn't take a lot of measurements and stuff, but I will kind of give you some to jot down, or you can come back and rewatch this video when you're ready to sit down and actually do your crafting. Just grabbing a ruler out here. So up for purchase is the background wood grain paper that I used. So if you're interested in that, that will be in that special section. Or you can use whatever wood grain paper you have kicking around. And then you will need a sheet of white cardstock in order to cut all of your tags. So the tags are just strips of paper, and then I use a die on the top to give it that rounded part. And if you want more details on how to do that, you can go back and watch our December video, which is on our YouTube channel, and it's under the playlist for 2025. And I do show you how to use the die set to cut out the topper. I'm not going to go through that again today because we've kind of already covered it, and the information is there. So you can just go on a little scavenger hunt. And like I said, it's in the December video and I go through it. The strips of paper that I cut were 2.5 inches in width. And then I went with about 9 inches top to bottom. And then the die set that I used is this one here. This is the one we used in December. It is the mirrored arch labels. Now, anybody who pre-ordered this, we were really hoping it was going to come in on our order that we just brought across on Thursday, but there was a little bit of a mix-up, and it is coming in our next shipment. So it's going to be towards the end of this month, and we're really sorry about the wait for that. But anyways, it is coming. So if you've already pre-ordered it, you're going to be getting it towards the end of the month, and you will be able to do your December page and the title page at that point. So you're just going to choose a smaller one of the dies. And you're basically going to pick one that the cutting edge on the die matches up with the edges of your strip. It's very easy to figure out. So this is 2.5. So you're going to find the die on here that is 2.5 inches wide, and you're going to place it at the top, and it's going to give you that rounded top. If you are using a die that you have in your stash, same thing. Just find something that's about that width. You can adjust the width of your tag accordingly, but you want to be able to get all 4 of them on your page. So you don't want it to be too crowded. But that's how I did that. And then I just chose a photo for each one of the tags. So winter, spring, summer, fall. And again, I did my photos all about the same size. So they're like 3x4 photos to start with, but then I had to trim them down to get them to fit on the tag properly. And I spaced them differently. So I didn't want a real linear look, like straight across with the photos. So I kind of moved them up and down. And a lot of that depended on the embellishments that I was using. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the pile of my extras. This video will be here for you to come back. You can take screenshots, whatever you need to do to be able to figure it out. You're going to go through all of your leftovers. And I believe this is from the January one because it's the winter one. This one, let me just have a quick peek here if I can tell you. I have to kind of look at my stack. Okay, so that one was... Oh, it was March. This is March. This one is a combination of July and May. Okay, so I used some of the stickers and stuff from the May one, and then some of the ephemera from the July one. Nope, not July, March. And then this one here, did I say July on this one? Back up. This one was January. This one was, hang on, March and May. This one was July. And again, I added a few things in from May because there's stickers on there from that and a few die cuts. And then this one here was the one where we did, it's October. Yeah. And so I'm even using rub-ons that were left over and like you've got tons to work with if you saved all your bits. There's so much to play around with. And again, you might not end up doing it exactly like I did, but it gives you that flexibility. So like I said before, these dies here, they are from Spellbinders. And they are the falling leaves and the documenting labels. Now, we didn't go ahead and order a bunch more stuff in. If it's something that you want, just reach out to us and let us know. We've already had these up for a while and people have ordered them. And if you missed out, that's totally fine. If we can still get them, which I think we can for everything, then just let us know and we'll bring them in for you. But we're not going to load up our online store with things that we've already had. So if it's something that you want, just let us know and we will bring them in. So that's the dyes and stuff that I used for that. And then the rub-ons were left over and so on. Black and white twine was something that I used. And we sell that by the yard. Then the tag reinforcements are right here, just at the bottom of this. I use these a lot. We've talked about them a lot over the last 3 years. And it's a product that I use pretty consistently whenever I use tags. So that is the set from Tailored Expressions, the tag reinforcements. These are the numbers that I used for this, and they are from Tailored Expressions as well. They're the just a number, and it is a bundle. So you get the front and the back, and they are my absolute favorite number set. I like that you can use them individually. So you can use these on their own. You can also use the shadow on its own as well. And then it has the THSTNDRD. So they're great for personalizing things. If you have like anniversaries, like their 25th anniversary, their 30th birthday, that kind of stuff. But they're great for adding to layouts as well. They're a really good size. And I love them when you layer them together and use the shadow. So what is Shelby saying here? They are in the section, so you can take a look at them and let you know to email us. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Shelby. She's the best. So she put the products up there, and there's a note that if you're interested in them, that you can email us. So that's perfect. So that is that. Oh, and these are the tags that I use all the time. They are also from Tailored Expressions. There is the tag stacklets and then the pierced tag stacklets. I didn't use the pierced ones this time, just the regular one, but I often use them together. And yeah, so it's pretty great. I love that. Okay, I just dropped my ink pad on the ground. I don't want to roll over it with my chair. Other things I suggest are black cardstock and craft cardstock to do your numbers. You can purchase that through us as well. Just a smooth cardstock is perfect. So whether you like to buy the 12 by 12 sheets or whether you like to buy the packs of 8.5 by 11, you'll need black and craft if you want to do the same thing that I did. I also used the craft on the tag reinforcements as well. And then the papers that I used for this set of dies, those are the same ones that we used in that month. So we used Spellbinders cardstock. It was cinnamon, terracotta, truffle, and fawn. So I just went with the same color scheme and I just used the same thing. So if you purchase that cardstock at that time, you can just pull those out and use those. I think we have limited numbers of individual sheets available. If not, it'll be full packs that you have to purchase at this point. And then obviously foam adhesive. Again, I'm going to recommend the full rolls of adhesive. You do spend a little bit more when you first purchase it, but look at that. Olivia's right in the middle of my foam tape there. But it will last you like per square inch or whatever it is. It is far more economical to purchase these large rolls of adhesive, and you can custom cut the size of pieces that you want, which is awesome. Sarah, do you carry the large magnetic sheet that you have your dies on? Yes, those are Lawn Fawn. I don't know if they're in stock right now, but we do carry them regularly. We have them in a 5 by 7 and then the 8.5 by 11. These are the best magnetic sheets if you're looking for something very magnetic and heavy duty. I also like it for larger sets that have a lot of pieces that kind of go together. I don't put everything on a magnetic sheet, if I'm honest, because I just don't feel like everything needs to go on a magnetic sheet. But there's certain things that I really like to have on magnetic sheets. Like I want these numbers out so that I can see them and get them easily. So I do like the larger sheets for that. So these are Lawn Fawn. They're back ordered right now. Yes. And so, yes, just keep it up. Put them in your notebook, Sarah. And you can also email us so that when they are available, we'll email you and let you know that they're back in stock. But they are one of my favorites for sure. So I do love that. Okay. I think I covered everything. Sanding block was the other thing that I use almost every single month. And it's because I like to sand the edges of my pictures. So you can see up close there how I've got the edges sanded on all of them. So I use a sanding block for that. Okay, before we move on to other things, is there any questions anybody wants to ask me about this? Since you're all here live, you get the bonus of being able to ask me questions. If you're watching it on replay and you do have a question, you can just email us and we are happy to answer. Susan, the yellow tags are the cutouts in the middle. These ones, the yellow tags are the cutouts. Yes, they are in the middle. They're done exactly the same way that we did the October page. So you can go back and watch that video and you can see how that was all done there. That's exactly the same stuff. And then Monica wants to know, what is the name of the reinforcement die? It is called Tag Reinforcements, and it's from Tailored Expressions. So that is, again, one we mention a lot. I don't have the actual packaging for that anymore. I threw it out a long time ago because it sits up on my magnetic wall or it's on my magnetic sheet so that I can just continue to grab it because I don't have the packaging for that anymore. Reinforcements are up for pre-order. Yes, we are out of stock. Perfect. We're always out of stock. I know I've already ordered them. They will be coming probably by the end of the month as well. I believe Tailored has already shipped. We're restocking so much stuff right now. I feel like other than breathing, the next thing I do most is order. It's crazy. Sorry, just grabbing a drink. Okay, so if nobody else has any questions about this, we're going to move on to details about our January bundle. So I'm going to pull out the bundle itself so you can see. The only thing I don't have showing here in my bundle is the photo. Oh, no, the photo's here. Good. So we went back to our original print process. So sorry about December's photo. That was really terrible. But here is your January photo. So it's actually legible. Colors are pretty good. So inside your bundle, you have a few things. So you have a set of rub-ons, which are fabulous. We used a similar set to this for fall. I love these. They're from 49 Market. They're called Winter Stories, and it's a discontinued product, so I don't think you're going to find it anywhere else. We scooped up a bunch of them. There's 2 pages of rub-ons that come in this set. So you get that. You get, let me find it. You get your cutout, which looks like this. So it's kind of like see-through. And then you also get some templates for the letters. Now, I know you're thinking right away, oh my God, we have to cut them. Well, ladies, it's so easy. So easy. And I'm going to show you how you go about it and how great it is, because you will love it. Shelby, I just thought of something, and I don't think it was on my list. And I know you love it when I do this to you. Repositionable adhesive. It is going to be your best friend for this. I think I mentioned to Shelby like when I was doing it, but I forgot to put it on my list. So if we can add that to the category, thank you very much. But this is your template for the Winter Memories title. So these two kind of go together. And then you have a full sheet of white, plus you have a 4 by 12 inch strip, because this is, we're going to turn into our patterned paper. And then you have this awesome paper here that has the pattern on it. On the other side, it is words. Oops, that's upside down, which you can use. I didn't use them. I used words from the rub-on sheet instead, but this is an option if you want to do that. So that is what comes in your bundle. And then the color photo is in there as well. And let's get my pile back together so I can find things when I need them. Now we're going to run through our list of add-ons. Okay, so I'll bring this up here so I can talk about them as we go through it. I have a list. So the calendar word, we kind of already talked about that a little bit. So this is an add-on. And this month we have the navy blue. It's Color Vibe Navy. We have Color Vibe Pink, and we have Color Vibe Teal. Like I said, they are available while quantities last. There is enough for everybody to buy a title. We will sell out of kits before we sell out of these. It's whether or not you get the color you want. So you want to make sure that you include these. I don't go back and cut these months later on in the year. Like I said, we've cut enough for everybody to buy one if they want it. If you forget to, they are up on our online store. We have random customers that come across these and think, oh, I would like the word January, so they buy one. So you need to make sure you're buying them, because it's a lot of work for me to pull out all of the machines and cut these all out. I don't go back and remake them. Okay, so you have to buy them when they are available, and when they sell out, they sell out. And Shelby says they will be in the category at the end of the video. We don't put all the products up for order right away. We want you paying attention to what we're saying during the live, and then you can go shopping. Okay, so there's your January die cuts, and we are going to continue with this style throughout the year. They will be color coordinated to the lines that we're working with. We might have options as far as colors as we go through. It'll depend on what is being offered that month. So that's one thing. Now I did use this ruler this month. It is the Tim Holtz Media Ruler. I haven't talked about this ruler too much, and it's not one that I pull out all the time, but for some tasks, I really love it. It is a ruler that has a grip on the back. Now, if you are working on the glass surfaces like I am, it's awesome because you put that down and it does not move. Now, I found it especially helpful when I was doing the grids on the layouts. So I made these grids. They did not come as part of the paper. So it is extremely helpful so that you can line your ruler up straight and draw the lines without your ruler moving around. Because if you are drawing with a black marker and your ruler shifts, then you can't erase it. It's done. And I found this ruler is very helpful. The other thing that is really great about it is it does have holes. I don't know if you can see them. Let me put my hand there. Do you see the holes there? Those are really good for piercing, for stitching. So if you like to stitch on your layouts, it is a good guide. They're just right along here. They're every 1/4 inch, and it makes it really nice for stitching. So that is another thing that I like about this ruler. But in this particular situation, I like it because it doesn't move. It's stuck to my glass mat and it's not going anywhere because it does have like a strip of, I don't know if it's silicone or rubber or what, but it's quite nice to have. So I do really like that ruler for this. So that is in the category. I believe we have a couple in for you in stock, and then there's more coming on an order. So there is that. We did use the mirrored arch labels, which I did mention. Did I? Oh, yes, I did. I used it on this layout too. So this is the 3rd time I'm using this one, just pointing it out, because I used it right here. This is this right here, this die cut where I did the rub-ons on it. Again, you are welcome to use whatever shape you want to put there, but this particular set works very well. It's not overly fancy, and that's one of the reasons I kind of like it. It's very easy to use, and the rub-ons fit on there perfectly. So the mirrored arch labels are getting used again on this one. Okay, so that is one of the add-ons. And then the stamp set that we're using is this one here. We showed it in our lives already, and we showed samples. Let me grab them. This is what inspired me, actually. So it is a snowflake set. It's called Snowy Season, and it comes with this stamp set and the matching dies. And there are dies for all of the snowflakes except for this little teeny one right here. And then it comes with 2 sentiments as well. So it's a great little set for card making, which is what we purchased it for. Amanda made up these really great samples using the snowflake dies. But this one in particular really intrigued me. And I said, and she's done this, Amanda's done this many times. She has used a stamp set to create her background. And I'm like, how do you do that? She goes, Mom, you literally just start stamping. And I'm like, okay, if she says that, then that's got to be all there is to it. So I'm going to try it. And because I didn't have a lot of pattern paper options with this particular bundle, I thought, you know what? I used the blue in behind the winter, but I wanted something different for behind here. So I made my own pattern paper. And the great part is you can customize it. So if your photos have a yellow snowsuit, you can make yellow snowflakes. If you have an orange one, if you've got any color scheme at all, you can create paper that will match. And I love that. So I'm going to go through how to do all of that, but this is where the inspiration came from. And I often say to people, your stamps and dies are not just for card making. You can do a lot of different things with them. And this is one of those times. So that is the stamp and die set that we have that we're using as an add-on this month. So that is that. I'm using my Gina K quartz, clear quartz sequins. These are probably my favorite neutral embellishment in my stash. I use them on a lot of things. I like my embellishments to be neutral. I don't want them to, again, be center stage. Megan, I said if the snowsuit was yellow, you could have yellow snowflakes. Megan says, don't eat the yellow snowflakes. Good advice. But I love these sequins. I tried to order more to have them in stock, but Gina K is out of stock right now, so we have to wait for her to restock. But we do carry these all the time, and you'll see me using them a lot throughout the year. So that is the embellishment I used. Okay, so I did use some sentiment dies. I'm going to point them out. There's this one here. And I'm going to have you take a very close look at it. Okay, see how it has those scalloped edges? I used another one over here on this one. So those are a brand new product that has not even arrived yet. But you can use any sentiment dies to do this. Okay, so Monica says, when using neutral sequins, what do you use to adhere them to the paper? I use my glue press with Nuvo glue in it, just like that. Dries clear, so it's not going to affect your sequins at all. and I use it for absolutely everything. But this is the sentiment strip die that I used. It's called Scalloped Edge. This is from Tailored Expressions Simple Strips category of products. So they have dies already that have the fishtail end, so like the V. They have straight edge, and I think they have rounded. They might even have asymmetrical. I don't know. We carry the fishtail and the straight often. We've had the other ones in. They're not as popular. But the great thing about these dies is that you can take this die and run it through your die cut machine with white paper, craft paper, black paper, whatever color you want. And you have a bunch of sentiment strips that you can then use for all of your one-line sentiments. They don't have to be used with the matching stamp sets. That goes the same for the mini strips. So if you have a mini strip set, you can do the same thing. This is a new one, and it has, see that scalloped edge? It is en route to us now. So if you want to hold out and order this, you can. If you have the simple strips stamps, it'll be a great addition. If you want something just a little bit different, you can get that. You want to use the ones you already have, that's perfectly okay. I like to use new products, so I pulled this one in. I almost didn't use it because I thought, well, we're not even going to have it in time, but it is coming. So that is a new product, and you'll hear me talking about that in lives moving forward, but that is what it is. And I love the ones that cut the multiple strips because you can cut these out and then just put them in a bag and pull them out and use them for any manufacturer's stamps. So I have a little bag of goodies here that are left over from my creating. And in there, you'll see I have a bunch of these little sentiment pieces that are going to go in my stash, and I'll be able to stamp all kinds of things on them. In this particular case, I did use the rub-ons on there to create some word strips. Susan says, I made a card using just the fishtails. Oh, all the time. There's so many great options for those, just the dies. So you don't have to have the stamps in order to make use of these. They're really great. So that's what I used for that. And then a black marker. So people might say, well, what black marker should I use? There are lots on the market. I have many in my stash, but they are all used for different applications. Is the scalloped edge coming in mini strips? Not at this time, Shelby. I only know about, well, they've only released the one. So as far as I know, nothing is in the works for that yet, but I only see it in the large set. There's a new stamp set coming out for that as well. It's a friendship one. I know, you know what? We can all get on our email and email Taylor and let her know that we want, and I mean, they might already have this in the works. They just haven't released it yet. What did I do with it? Here it is. It's called Scalloped Edge for Simple Strips. Everybody get on the email and tell them that you want Scalloped Edge for mini strips. And if enough people request stuff, I mean, they'd be silly not to do it. But it might already be something that they've got coming. Shelby, I'm going to call up Taylor and have a chat. You do that. I mean, they should listen to us. We order a heck of a lot of stuff from them. But like I said, they might already have it in the works. They just haven't released it yet. So anyways, back to black pens. I did use the Memento dual marker pen for my black lines. Again, this is a, I'll show you. It comes with a felt tip on this end. Okay. I did not use that. That's the brush tip. It's too wide. And then it comes with this like bullet tip on this end. So, oops, I can't even see that. It's very controllable. So I like this marker for this application. Shelby, do we have any of these in stock? I don't think so. Oh, Cheryl, good idea. So Shelby, while you're calling Taylor, tell her to do a backer die. I know we have these coming, I think later this week, but I wasn't sure if we had any in stock, but if not, they are coming. We do have other options. We have these awesome Sharpies. I do love them a lot, and they can be used in this application, but there are a couple of drawbacks that you need to be aware of. First of all, you need to go slowly when you are drawing with these because the ink comes out slowly. If you go too quickly, it's going to skip sections and you're going to get frustrated. But the other thing is it requires drying time. So in other words, when you're sliding your ruler around, you might drag it and then you'll get ink smears. So that's the one thing that I'm cautious about with this one in this particular application. The other one I really like is this Le Pen, but it has more of a, it's a little bullet, but it's kind of a brush at the same time. And I feel like the lines would be too thick. So I really liked this one and it gave me the look that I wanted. So that's the why I chose this one. But if you have another favorite black marker that you like or have and you want to use, go ahead and do that. No problem. You can even use a black pen. You just want to be careful. It's not going to be something that smears when you're doing stuff. Okay. Detail scissors. It's going to be especially important this time because you are going to be cutting paper for these backers here. And it falls in the category of fussy cutting, but it's easy fussy cutting. And I highly recommend these scissors, the detail cutting scissors from Spellbinders. We just did a promotion with these because we love them so much. And they are Teflon. Well, they're non-stick coated. I don't know what their coating is. So you can cut your foam tape pieces and the foam tape does not stick to this. They're nice and pointy and very sharp and very nice to work with. So that's what I'm going to be using tonight. You'll see me grab these in almost every single video I do. So it's definitely one of my favorites. And I highly recommend those. So if you don't have a really good pair of scissors, you'll want to grab those. The glue press. I just mentioned it. This is, again, going to be your friend when you are gluing this stuff together and anything else. I use it for absolutely everything that I don't use foam tape on. That's the truth. And I absolutely love it. You see me using it all the time. Even Amanda, she purchased a glue press when they first came out because everyone else was buying them. So she felt she really needed one, but then she put it aside because she said, I don't really like it, Mom. I said, you need to use it. Force yourself to use it and stick to it. What is Shelby? You're saying no coming in the next order. What does that mean? Is the scalloped edge coming in the manuscript? No, I just want to make sure we do have the markers coming because I just got a notification about shipping Memento pens. Yes, they are coming in the next order. Okay, perfect. What was I just talking about? Oh, and then Amanda, she saw us using it on a crafty day, so she started using it, and then she used it and used it and used it for a couple of weeks, and then she just posted in our group chat, and she says, I finally love my glue press. When you have a new tool, it feels funny in your hand. You have to kind of get used to it, but I'm telling you guys, the glue press is a game changer. Some people love it right away. Some people have to get a little bit used to it, but it is a game changer. And you will have so much control over how much adhesive comes out and make a lot less mess. So I highly recommend the glue press. That just arrived as well. I don't know if Shelby's got them in inventory yet, but they have arrived. We just, I'm not sure if they're unpacked. And then bone folders. We've talked about these in the past. We sell 2 different styles of the Teflon bone folders. Very, very nice for applying rub-ons. Oh, thank you. The glue presses are in inventory. These are really nice for applying rub-ons. So if you do like to use rub-ons, I highly recommend the Teflon bone folders. And then they're great for folding your paper and stuff as well. So we use these all the time. There's a pencil style and then this style. Both of them work great. Oh, I'm doing too much talking. I'm going to start coughing. Okay. Clear stickles. So I did add some glitter. I'm going to hold my page up here and see if you can see it on my snowflake. Can you see the glitter on there? It doesn't show that well, but it's on there and it shows beautifully in person. There are several different versions of clear stickles. I'm using the diamond, but any of them will work great. I believe we have that in stock too. So if you've never used that before, it's basically glitter glue. You're just going to draw lines on it and it's awesome. So it just adds a little sparkle. And then once it dries, it doesn't come off. So Sarah, what do you use the pencil style for? Silly question. Not at all. Pencil is amazing. First of all, it feels great in your hand. It's like holding a pencil. You use this end for scoring. So if you're making card bases and you have to fold your paper in half, this makes a score line and then everything folds beautifully. And then the edge is what you run along your paper to crease it so it's nice and creased properly. But for rub-ons, you're going to use it to actually rub the actual rub-ons on. And because it's Teflon, it glides and slides really nicely. So it is a dream to use. I love it. And either style will work. It's just a matter of preference. Obviously, we're going to recommend glass boards and magnets for all kinds of great things. When you're gluing your pieces together, you will see me use them to hold the paper down and let it tack up. So you're going to see me when I demonstrate that. I love the glass mats because it's so easy to clean up. You can splatter, you can ink blend, you can use an X-Acto knife and a ruler to do cutting on it. They're basically indestructible unless you drop them on the ground. And they are magnetic. So when you see us using our magnets, whether they be this size or this size, they stick right to our glass boards. There's other accessories that oops, sorry, I'm up too far. There we go. They stick to our glass boards. They are other accessories that you can use to hold your inks and all kinds of stuff. So we really recommend these glass boards. And we just got a shipment. So those will be all in inventory again soon. I do have a small one that I'm going to be using tonight for ink blending and splattering. And this is nice. Even if you have the large one, just to keep the mess off of that, you can sort of set this beside you and work directly on this, which is really nice. You can take it to your sink for cleanup and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great little tool, great for travel as well. I'm going to keep that close by because I will be needing it. If you don't have a glass board or anything like that, you can use a non-stick surface like one of these mats. Now mine is cut down into a smaller piece, but they do come in a larger roll that you roll out. It would be probably the size of this glass mat, and you can work on that. So I have added them to, Shelby, you're on fire. She's added them to inventory, including the new scrapbook size board. Yes, you heard right. The glass board company has come out with a new size for scrapbookers. I don't know the exact dimensions, but basically you can put two layouts, like two 12 by 12 pieces side by side for like double layout size. So it's not as wide top to bottom and it's longer. So it's really cool. And it's also magnetic. So really, really cool option. We got a few of those in because we do have a lot of scrapbookers. And I know that the glass boards, the magnetic glass boards are very popular. People love them. Hence the reason we're sold out. And 14 by 26. Perfect. Yeah. So 14 inches top to bottom and 26 inches wide. So it gives you an extra inch all the way around, but everything goes on. So you can actually use the magnets to hold your pages in place while you're creating. And oh my gosh, once you get one, there's no turning back. What else do we got here? I'm going to use my Mighty Mister for spraying water. You'll see me doing that when I work with the splattering. My favorite cloth. I always have these out. This is great for cleaning up your glass boards and other things. We talked about foam tape, sanding block, blending brushes. Tonight I will be using the waffle flower ones. Do you guys notice something else I'm holding? We have some fun 3D printed stuff coming your way. My son, Jason, has invested in a 3D printer and he's been making me all kinds of fun things for my craft room. And I told him I needed a holder for the new waffle flower large blending brushes. And he's the one who's renovating our basement right now. He came and he has this amazing holder for me and they fit right in there perfectly. So just ignore it for now. We'll talk about that later. But I will be using this size to do my blending today. But you can use any blending brushes that you want. And then ink. The ink colors that I am using tonight are Tailored Expressions Cookie Monster. I'm using Lawn Fawn Juice Box, Lawn Fawn Blue Jay, and Catherine Pooler Twilight. Now you can mix and match your inks to whatever it is that you're working with. If you don't have these exact colors, then you can find something that's similar, but that's what I'm using. What did Lynn say? That's fun for both him and you. Oh, heck yeah. He's loving it. He'll come into my office and he's like, Mom, do you need a holder for that? Do you want a tray for that? Do you need this for your toothbrush? Do you need, like, he wants to 3D print everything and he's good at it. He designed the holder and everything. We've got holders for other favorite brushes coming too. So we'll do a whole video about that later. Okay, that's it for add-ons. Does anybody have any questions before we move on to techniques? I will just wait and see for a second. Don't be shy. No question is a dumb one. I'm happy to answer. I know it's very exciting. I love new things, especially when they're really functional, you know? And yeah. And I like to have little pieces of my children around my house. So yeah, it's really fun. Jason's done a lot of renovations around our house. And, you know, when you look at something, you're like, oh, look, Jason did that. And I have a shelf that's just outside my office door that my son-in-law made. And I'm like, oh, Kevin made that. I love that. And, you know, there's other stuff that my other son has done and my daughter gives me things. And so there's just little pieces of them all over the place, which is lovely because they don't live here anymore. Okay, no questions? Okay, we're going to move on. All right, what we're going to do first, I think, let's just look. Are there any real measurements I have to give you? I don't think so. Your paper for the background here. Yes, I am, Monica. The background paper here is 12 by 12. You will want to cut the center of that out. So you have a frame, basically, when you're finished. And I can demo that because you want to use that inside piece to cut out your winter letters. So you want to have access to that. And you're not going to see it anyway. So you may as well cut out the center and use it. So that's the first thing. The white paper that you have, you want to cut that down to measure 11.5 by 11.5. And that will sit on top of the frame that you cut. Okay, so that's going to be your two background layers. And then we're going to use the 4 by 12 piece to make our snowflake paper. And we're going to use the piece that you cut out of the center for the blue to make our winter letters. I also used a couple of strips here at the bottom behind this white piece. That is a little strip of our snowflake background paper that we're going to create and a little piece of that blue. So the blue piece is 3/8 by 5 1/4. So 3/8 by 5 1/4. And the snowflake paper is 1/4 inch by 4 3/4. Okay, so those are the two strips that I use there. This is cut out of the label die, just a scrap piece of white that you have. You can just cut that out, and then I did the rub-ons on there. So that's all the measurements on this side. Your photos are going to vary depending on what you have. I cut 4 that are the same size. Basically, just take the area that you're going to be using as your grid, and I'm going to allow you to figure out what photo measurements you need for that. So whatever you want to fill that space with, you might want to just put 1 photo there. You might want to just put 2 photos there, whatever you want to do. And on this side, there's no real measuring at all. It's just photos. And then we're going to be using a couple of the blocks to make little scenes that will tie in this side to this side. Okay, so there's not a lot of measuring involved. So what I am going to do is I'm going to start off by, I'm not going to draw this grid because I want Amanda to be able to do that for herself, but I will demonstrate the grid process on a calendar page. Okay, so you'll get the idea of how to make the grid on this, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to grab a calendar page. I went tobogganing with my grandkids today. Well, first of all, I threw my back out on Thursday, and it's been a few days of not so much fun, but I've been feeling much better. And I decided to go tobogganing with them today. But getting out of my chair is now telling me that my body is saying, yikes. So tomorrow should be fun. Because, you know, you use all those muscles that you don't usually use. I'm just going to cut off the barcode here. And then Amanda will have a page ready to go. Oops, I didn't go back down far enough. That's okay. I'll fix that. Okay, so there we go. And get rid of this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is on my layout here, I always look at the calendar page like a grid, and I used 3 by 2. So 3 across, 2 down. That's the area that I'm going to create a little scene in. And then I did the opposite corner, a 2 by 2. So 2 by 2. You can make them smaller or larger, whatever you like. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to grab that ruler I was telling you about. And I'm going to tape my calendar page down to my glass mat. I could use a magnet. Why don't we do that? Because it's probably good enough. I just want to make sure that I get my page lined up with the grid on the background. It doesn't matter where you do it. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple of magnets on here. So that's going to hold my paper in place. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm again working in this 3 by 2 section right here. I am going to place my ruler on here, and I'm lining it up with the measurements that are on my glass mat. Every 1/4 inch is marked out. My ruler might not extend past the edges of my paper, but I can see those lines no problem. And I will be able to line up the edge on this side and this side to make sure my ruler is straight. You might think your ruler is straight, but it could be just on the slightest angle. Once you draw that line in marker, you're going to know right away. So you do want to have some sort of system in place that allows you to draw a straight line. You can use a T-square ruler if you want to as well. I just find this works really well with the rubber feet so that it doesn't slide around. It doesn't slide around on your paper. It doesn't slide around anywhere. So it's really great. I found when I was working on my layout, the ruler extended past the edge of my paper because I had cut it down to 11.5 by 11.5. And it made it really easy to get that grip on your glass mat. This is a full 12 by 12 page, and the ruler is 12 by 12. So it doesn't hang over as much, but it doesn't move around on your paper either. Like I'm moving it back and forth, and it's not going anywhere. So it has that grip action, which is good. Now I'm going to start my lines just below the line that is on my calendar paper. So I'm going to line up I'm going to move this up just a bit because I want to have the line in the right spot. As long as you're somewhere, like as long as your paper is even with the grid somewhere, it's fine. But I want to come down a little bit from the top. And I'm just lining up the edges of the ruler with the lines on my my mat. And I got to find my pen. There it is. And I'm going to use that bullet end. And I'm simply going to draw lines. Now, the cool thing about the grid is that you don't want it to be even. You don't want it to be boxy. You want your ends to, like you'll notice it over here. Some are longer, some are shorter. Okay, so you want that staggered look all over. And then you'll notice here, like I go like 1/4 inch, but then there's like this 1/2 inch gap in there. It's good to kind of break it up a little bit. You don't want it to be so uniform that it looks like you're putting a piece of grid paper onto your background. You want to create sort of staggered and uneven edged look. And you're just simply going to draw. And again, when you're using a marker, kind of go slow. You don't want to go fast because what'll happen is you'll skip sections. And it's not terrible. I mean, I wouldn't say all my lines are exactly the same depth and color. There is areas where the marker has kind of not laid down perfectly. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be sort of uneven and whatever. So this one I'm going to come in a little further and stop a little sooner. And again, I'm going to move down. Actually, this is the one I'm going to do the 1/2. So now you come down 2 spots. Okay. And it's going to leave a bigger gap, which I like. So a really, really cool way to add detail to your background if you don't have stamps, dyes, rub-ons, that kind of stuff. You have to kind of come up with creative ways to do these cool things. And, oh, okay, we're at the bottom. Oh, no, we're going down more. When did I do my next scrap? Okay, that's good. I forgot we're doing 2 sections. I'm just going to complete this one section for you just so you can see it totally done. So we'll do the ink blending and the whole deal. And again, I'm just lining up the edges of my ruler each time so that my lines are straight. And again, remember, some lines are longer than others. And at first you kind of look at it and go, wow, is this even going to look like anything? Now I'm going to skip again and do another 1/2 inch section. And I'm really going to shorten that one up just for fun. Okay, we're getting close to the bottom here. Probably stop it at this point. And you're going to be putting things over top of this. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but that's kind of what it's going to look like when you first start. So Chris says, do it in light pencil first. You could, I say, dive in. If you've got the proper tools, just dive in. And now we're going to sort of shift and we're going to go vertically. And again, I'm lining up my ruler with the edge of my paper and the lines that are on my background. And this is where the grid is going to all start to come together. But if you feel more confident doing it in pencil first, chances of you lining it up perfectly with your marker afterwards, I don't know. I just dove in. It's only a piece of paper. I'm not too worried. And if you buy several of the calendar pages, you can always pick up another one, but it's, you know, it's up to you. Okay, I'm going to skip and go a 1/2 inch now. Maybe not this one because I don't want it to line up with the edge. We'll do the next one. I did do it there. I kind of want it there. I am going to go there. Yeah, it's really just about whatever you're confident doing. I know it's not very exciting watching me draw lines, but it's part of the process. And I want to give you guys a good look at how to do this. And it's actually a really fun little technique. I'm going to have to move my magnet here. That's the other great thing about the magnets is if they're in your way, just put them in a different spot. But it still really holds everything down very nicely. My paper's not shifting at all. The glass boards are quite strong. And they really hold everything well. Okay, I'm going another 1/2 inch section now. And you can decide how many quarters and how many halves you want to do. Hello, Heather. People still tuning in and out. Okay. Yeah. See, I think I have my ruler straight, and then I look at the bottom. I'm like, well, that's not even close to straight. So I'm very, very grateful for the option of having the glass board there so I can make sure that it's straight. Okay, and I'm going to do another 1/2 inch section. I think it's good to break it up. And it really does look kind of messy to start, but trust me, it's very cool. Okay, I'm just going to draw my line down here and we are done. Okay, so there's my grid. So that's kind of what it looks like when you first start. Yes, Sarah, the glass mats can be shipped. Now, we do charge actual shipping for the glass mats, but when we say that, that can be scary. It is very, very economical. we get really good shipping rates. So just send us your address and inquire, and we can tell you exactly what the shipping is going to be like. The only thing is, especially with the large boards, they come prepackaged. So we can't really add other things inside that because they're very well protected inside that box. They've got foam and all kinds of things. We can't add more things to the box. So you kind of have to ship that separately. And like Shelby just said, unless you live very remotely, like in a very, secluded kind of place where your shipping rates are high for everything, then it is not a problem. It's very reasonable. And you pay that shipping one time and you will never regret having this mat. It's amazing. I love them. Sorry, I have to keep drinking or I'll end up coughing. So yes, anytime you ever have any questions about shipping or anything, just please email us. We can sort it all out. Once you get this grid done, you're going to do that in another section as well and on the other page. What you do now is I added some ink blending to sort of tie it in. And this is where you have to kind of decide what colors you want to use and so on. Now I went with the pink. I used, what was my pink color? Oh, it wasn't really pink. It's called Juice Box. It's kind of a purpley pink. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to show you another accessory that comes with these, not comes with, you can get with these glass boards, and it's an ink holder. So this is designed to hold your ink pads. They have it for ink cubes as well. It has a little spout here so you can actually hold gems and crystals in here and help pour them back into the trays. But what that does is it allows you to put your ink pad in here. And now when you're swirling your brush around on it, it's stable. It's not going anywhere. So you're not chasing your ink pad all over the place, and it makes it nice and steady. Now I'm going to pull my brush out of my awesome new brush holder, which I will be talking about again when they are available, which will be very soon. Now I have chosen to use this brush. You can use the Pink Fresh 1-inch brushes as well. The thing is, you don't want too big because you don't want to blend way outside this area. The waffle flower brushes are excellent. I really, really like them. You can hold them like this and blend. Really nice for big background areas. It gives you a nice smooth blend. They're amazing, but I'm going to do it with this pink color. And I'm going to start in the center, and I'm just going to, with a light hand, start adding my blending. Because you want to build up your ink color. You don't want to go in too crazy right off the hop and end up putting too much ink down. The Pink Fresh 1-inch brushes are amazing, and I still love them a lot. What I like about this brush over that brush, I'll just grab it. You'll notice that these bristles, they flare out, and they're a little bit longer, which means you're going to have more travel, which is good sometimes. But in this particular case, I want to control my big area blending a little bit more, and I can do that with these waffle flower brushes. So that's why I chose to use these. But you can use whatever blending brushes you like. But I will say, and I try not to steer people wrong on this, tools make all the difference. I try to recommend the best tool for the job, and then you can pick and choose what you like to carry in your own inventory of supplies. Okay, so there is the nice, beautifully blended pink section. Now, when you are doing your page, you want to make sure your ink is fully dry before you add rub-ons onto that, because rub-ons will not stick well if the ink surface is wet. So especially if you're using a pigment ink like a oxide ink or something like that, or if you're a heavy-handed ink blender and you get a lot of ink down there, you really want to make sure that that is very dry before you add rub-ons, or you're not going to have very good luck. And the tendency with people is to say, oh, these rub-ons suck. They don't. They're great rub-ons, but the surface that you're working on might be the problem. So if your ink is not completely dry, you will have issues putting down the rub-ons. So make sure that your surface is dry and you'll be good. Now this is where my favorite cloth comes in and where I really love these glass mats. So I'm going to clean this up, and I'm taking this is my favorite bottle. We sell these too. You're going to this is alcohol, 70%. You just give it a good spray, and then you just simply wipe it up. And alcohol dries very quickly. So that's completely dry. I don't have to wait. If you're spraying it with water and cleaning up that way, it takes a lot longer to dry. If you use the alcohol, it's gone in no time. And these cloths, you can just throw these into the washing machine with your jeans and they wash up beautifully. So that's what I do. I have a pile of them and I just throw them in with my jeans and then they're done. So now to splatter, I'm not going to splatter live. I've splattered in other videos. I'm just going to show you my layout here. Can you see that splatter? I did not want black. My lines are drawn in black. I just wanted to keep it kind of soft. So I did a gray and I did the twilight gray, but I didn't use my ink pad. I actually called Amanda and I said, I want to splatter in an ink color. How do you do it? And she says, well, I usually use the re-inkers. And I'm like, well, duh. So I pulled out my re-inker for the twilight and I'm going to splatter with this. So all you do is pull over your nonstick surface. You know what? I'll splatter in this little section. I don't like to splatter live because it goes everywhere and it makes a big mess. But I will try to splatter here. So you just take your re-inker and you literally need a drop. 2 at the most. I'm only doing one section. I'm going to do 1 drop. Okay. Now, what this is a very high concentrate of the ink color that's on your pad. The reason that you like to use this versus your pad is that you have a high concentration of the color in one area. So I'm going to give this a little tiny spritz of water. Okay. I don't want to do too much. The re-inker is thick, so you don't want to dilute it too much, but you need enough, sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. That's not the one. Oh yeah, maybe it is. You want enough water to make it so that it will splatter, but not too much that it dilutes the color. Okay. So then I'm just going to take this and I probably don't have enough water. I kind of knew that. There we go. And you're just going to tap it. And this is not black splatter. This is gray splatter, which I love. And it dries back a little bit more, but it kind of just softly splatters the area. So you often see us use black, white, gold, silver, which we do a lot, but sometimes you want just something a little softer. Pull out your re-inkers. Maybe you want pink splatter. Maybe you want blue splatter. But you can pull out your re-inker and then you can do your splattering that way. And it works out really nicely. And I will say the ink probably cleans up a lot nicer than some of the splatters do because they tend to dry like rock on your surface. But this way, I can now take my spray and I just got a little splatter up here. I'm just going to take that right away and clean it off. And then it's not going to be all over everything. And then same thing with the glass board. You literally just wipe it up and it's gone. Now that had some water in it, so it does kind of take a second to dry, but now it's completely dry. I'm ready to go. So if you have re-inkers, which I highly recommend for your pads, you can pull them out and you can use them for splatter as well. And like I said, the color is a little more concentrated, so it's really nice to use. Doesn't matter which brand you're working with. You can use the oxides and stuff as well for the re-inkers. But they will be a little different to work with than the regular dye inks, just because they have got pigment in them too, but they will work well for splatter as well. Okay, any questions? So that's kind of how you create that gridded section. So pretty easy to do. I think it looks fabulous. Again, in that particular section that I just did there, you're going to be then doing some rub-ons. So I used the trees and then one of the quotes. And I put the trees down first, and then I overlapped the other quote section. So it's rub-on top of rub-on. So you can do that with these rub-ons. They work really great. But just make sure everything about that is completely dry before you do the rub-on part. And the snowflakes, not only can they be stamped directly to paper, but they have dies. So you're able to cut them out. So you can cut out a bunch of snowflakes and then use them as embellishments. And that way you can pop them up, which is quite a nice technique to use. I love that things have dies because it does give you that option. So I did that down in this section here too. I did another set of trees and then another quote, and then another snowflake. So really easy to create the scenes, just using the grid, the ink blending, the rub-ons, and a little bit of splatter. And then on this one here, I added a strip, and the rub-on I used is The Snow Came Down. And this actually has like stitching built right into the rub-on. Can you see that on there? Isn't that cool? And then I think the glitter is showing up on this one. So I just used some of that Stickles glitter, and then you can see my sequins on there too. So pretty cool. Love that. So that's how you create those sections. On the layout itself, the section is larger. You probably want to get your title ready, kind of place that, and sort of with some pencil marks, just put like some corners about how far out you want to do your grid, and then do your ink blending, and same idea, splatter, and you're good. And you'll notice that I have some rub-ons up here. So there's a large snowflake. On the rub-on sheet, where is that? Let me show you. You have these. I love these. Those are really cool. So all I did was I put 2 of them here, 2 of them here. You can see that I laid 4 of them down here, and then I put a quote over top. Whoops, sorry. 4 of them here and a quote over top. So that's rub-on top of rub-on. It's just kind of grounding it and drawing your eye to it. Did you put stickles on all of the snowflakes? I sure did. A little bit of sparkle is kind of fun. So all the snowflakes, all the individual snowflakes that I did, I added stickles to. So I really like these little rub-ons here. And there's all the little quotes. They even come with like little lines and everything already drawn in there. So you don't have to do any of that work. And then these are the little quotes that I used on the sentiment strips. And this snowflake here, is that the one I used? No, that's this one. Is the one up here. There's a cluster of snowflakes right here. That's this. Right there. I love that. And see how it's got text and everything built into it. So that all rubs right onto your paper. And yeah, so that's all of the rub-on stuff. Now we're going to show how to do this. I love how easy it is. And you guys are going to love it. I just got a message, and I'm just going to see if somebody's messaging me on Facebook here. I forgot to turn off my sound. Oh, okay. That's about something else. Okay. Just making sure I'm not missing Shelby trying to tell me something. Just going to clean out my brush of that ink so that it doesn't dry like that. And then we're going to dive into the die cuts. Am I missing anything? Is that a rub-on behind the 2 strips? Like right here? Yes. That's the cluster of snowflakes that I just showed you on that paper. Where is it? Right here. That's this section right here. So I just rubbed it on, and then the strips go over top. And then these are rub-ons as well. Okay, let's set that aside. Alrighty, so what you're going to do to create your title. Oh, we're going to do the winter part. I better cut out that section here. You know what? Maybe we won't. First, we're going to make some snowflakes. Then we're going to cut that out. Okay, so you've got this 4x12 piece of paper. What we're going to do is turn it into pattern paper using the snowflake stamps and the inks. So let me find my stamp set, which I buried over here. Here we go. And I'm not going to worry about the dies right now, but I'm going to have my stamps out here. Now, I don't use my MISTI when I do this. First of all, your paper's too long. Second of all, you want the flexibility of being able to move your stamps around. I do recommend a good set of blocks to use when you stamp. I know most of us like to use our MISTI stamping tools because we can stamp over and over in the same spot, but there still is a time when you want to have a good set of blocks. I really like Gina K's Comfort blocks. They are gridded and they have like little bevels along the edges, so it makes it really easy to hang on to. They've been a bit tricky to get. They've been out of stock for a while. We did just place a reorder. Some of them came back in stock. The other ones I like are the Lawn Fawn ones, and they tend to have like a curved edge, which is really nice to grip onto with your fingers too, because your fingers kind of nest in those little valleys, and it also has a grid on it. Doesn't have a beveled edge on the side, but it's still really nice to hang on to. And I would say, as a rule of thumb, don't think to yourself, you know what, I'm going to get a large block and that way I can use it for all my stamps. The thing is with that, I need to drink, sorry. Oh, Shelby, somebody's asking you about porch pickup. By the way, ladies, it is something that we do offer. We're not advertising it like full on right yet. I live in Elora and I have a number of customers out this way that prefer to pick up their orders. And that is an option. If you're interested in that, please email us, because we do want to just outline the parameters of that so that you understand how it works. I know Shelby has been very generous to allowing people to pick up things in her house, at her house as well. But that is an option that is up to Shelby. She is under no obligation to do that. So just email the store if it's something that you want to arrange. Somebody's asking a question. What is the purpose of the grids on the stamp block? To line your stamps up straight. It doesn't really matter so much for snowflakes, but like if you're trying to put a sentiment on, you want to make sure it's straight. The grids are very helpful. So yeah. Okay. So what I was saying about this was, don't think that you can buy a stamp block that's large and just put anything on it. It's really important for, it's very important for you to be able to maneuver the stamp well. So if you got a block that's really big and you can't fit it in your hand very well, and you kind of have to hold it and you're covering stuff up, it's not easy to use. It's best to try to use blocks that are similar to the size of your stamps. And that's, just a personal preference, but I do like to have a couple of stamp blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to start stamping on here. And you can start, creating a pattern and filling it in. So I'm going to pick one color and I'm just going to start stamping with that. So I'm going to choose this stamp and I'm going to let's do juice box because it's right here. And we will just start stamping with that. So I'm going to need the larger block to do that. And I can't see through these stamps, so you can't really see what you're doing, but they're just snowflakes. So it's not as important. And you only have one shot to get the stamp in the right spot and get a good ink. So make sure that your pad is well inked, your stamp is well inked, and you're just simply going to start putting that stamp down. Okay. And again, a lot of the inks have leveling agents in them. So when you stamp, it might look a little blotchy at first. Once that ink starts to dry and level out, that often smooths out. So it's not the end of the world. Now, I'm not going to get too crazy. I'm just going to kind of do 3. And this is where you want to have your stamp chamois handy, which I did not wet. So I'm just going to go grab that and put some water on it so that I can clean my stamp. 1 second. Sorry about that. I always try to think of all the things and I inevitably forget. I just treated myself to a brand new chamois. So it's nice and blue, but this is just going to clean off my stamp. So this is the Lawn Fawn stamp chamois. We also carry the, I don't know what it's called. Gina K has a version of it too. It's called something, Tidy Towel. So this cleans everything off, all the ink residue off your stamps, but it also kind of dries them at the same time. So you don't have to wait forever for them to dry. So now what I'm going to do is pick a different ink color. I mean, a different ink, a different stamp and a different ink color. And we're going to start to fill in the areas a little bit at a time. And it is kind of, you just sort of wing it. Like it's not really a perfect science. And it does all work out. So again, I'm going to try to just sort of put them in together. And some situations you want to stamp right off the side so the whole snowflake isn't on there. You just want to watch when you do get ink on your mat, just quickly wipe it up because you will end up putting something there that you don't want. Trust me. And then I'm just going to kind of go off over here and maybe one over here. And then just switch it out. Excuse me, sorry. The more I talk, the drier my throat gets. Let's pull in some gray. I don't know. Hope this will work in there. Look at that. If you have oval ink pads, they work in there. So now I'm going to pull in a larger stamp again. So we've done this one. We've done this one. Let's pull in this one. And I just re-inked this pad. So I'm using, that doesn't fit exactly. The first two pads I'm using were linen. This one is a foam pad, so different surface. Oh yeah, I really did re-ink that. Okay, let's be careful not to push too hard. Yep, I did. But you can see how it all starts to come together. And you probably have to go back. And get other colors. So now we're going to do some navy in the large, and then we're going to start to pull in some small ones. Now I have to create this strip so that I can show you how to do the letters. I was terrified to do this, by the way, the first time I did it, and it's not scary. It's very easy. You just want to make sure you don't overlap the snowflakes. You want to just kind of fill them in. So isn't that fun? Really easy. Okay, you need the soap dispenser from Dollarama for your stamp chamois. Fill it with water and it just sits on your desk. Well, yes, you can do that. I do have a container that I put it in, but I don't like to leave it wet all the time. I like to let it dry out. And I always say to myself, make sure you wet your stamp chamois before you go live. And then I forget every time. But my sink isn't too far away, so that's not too bad. Okay, now I'm going to pull in this teeny weeny little one here. And we're going to start to fill in some holes. I will take the blue since I've got it out. And now you want to go into those smaller sections and just fill in some little holes here and there, but try to separate your colors a little bit. It does get tricky, but you know what? In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be the end of the world if you have two snowflakes side by side that are the same color. It'll all work itself out. I need some more big ones. Which ones should I use? I'm going to go with this one. And the last time I did gray, so this time I'm going to do some blue. Oh, now that one didn't work out very well. That's my bad. I just rushed it. That's okay though. It's going to be fine. There we go. Better pressure. Here we go. And we're going to need some large ones here, but I'm going to switch up my color. So I'm going to do teal. And again, if you want just a few pink snowflakes, then you just do a few. If you want, more navy in your design, then you do more navy. So this is teal. I'm going to kind of... Ooh, that's awesome. Go here. Okay, that's it for that big one. So now I'm going to pull in this one again. But I think I'm going to do it in the pink. I keep saying pink. It's kind of a purpley pink. It's called Juice Box, but... So again, I'm looking for the larger spots to fill in now, and then I can come in with my small set, like the smaller snowflakes, to fill in the little gaps. So I'm trying to get all the big spaces filled in. Go do one here too. Perfect. Okay. clean that up. So it's really starting to fill in nicely. All right, so let's go back to this small one. So we haven't done any small in teal or gray. Let's try gray. Gray's my neutral. Okay, so let's just fill in up here, over here, down here. So anywhere you see some small areas that could use some filling in, you just randomly fill in. Okay, I'm going to grab that other small stamp. It's even smaller than that one. And I'm going to switch up my color. I'm going to pull in some more of that juice box. So these ones are more like little bursts, and they really do fill in a lot of small spaces. Okay. So I have a couple of holes here, but I think this piece is too big, so I'm going to have to come in with this. So let's pick, I think for this one we need teal. And I think teal will work here too. And I think we'll use purple over here. And remember, it's okay to go off the edge because that kind of fills in stuff too. And once you kind of feel like you're getting close to being happy with it, you go down to your very smallest stamp. Oops. What color's that? Cookie Monster. Wrong lid. And I'm thinking I'm going to do the dark blue, and I'm just going to fill in some more of those tiny little bursts just to fill in the last little bit. Because believe it or not, it makes a difference just to put in those little stamps in the last few spots. Don't worry if you're kind of getting close to other colors that are similar. It'll all blend in. But I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? Like, we've created a whole piece of pattern paper. Super easy. And you can do this with any kind of stamp you want. So if you need some snowflake paper sometime and you don't have any, you can make it. And I love that option. So once you get your paper made, now you can go ahead and use it for creating the letters. And this is where the fun begins. So I'm going to show you how to work with this template here. So I used the pattern paper that we just made for the word memories. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your sheet and you have the memories letters. You're going to grab those scissors. And what you're going to do is just loosely cut out around this. Okay, so you want to have as much of the outside paper off as you can. Now, these little magnetic things here work really well for scraps too. So you can just throw all your little scrap papers in here. You don't have to worry about where the lines are right now. You just want to make sure you get as much of the paper off here as you can. So you're left with the letter M. What you're going to do with that is you're going to tape it with repositionable tape down to this paper. Now you want to make sure you utilize this paper well. If you have other white paper in your stash that you can pull from, it's not a big deal. And you can restamp more of it. But you want to make sure that you use, have as little waste on it as you can. And you will have enough to do the whole word memories. And then you will also have some paper left along the top to cut your strip. Okay, but if you're all willy-nilly with it, then you're going to run out of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take repositionable adhesive. This is where this repositionable adhesive is really great. And you're going to, you can kind of see through this. You want to put it on the straight lines. The tape dispenser is the perfect width to put it on the M within the black lines. And then you're going to kind of place it like as close to the edge as you can. Okay, so now that's stuck on there. You're just going to cut this paper and this paper at the same time. These are all very straight lines. It's a very easy font to cut out. So you want to cut on the line. They've designed the template to be slightly smaller than the actual die cut. So it's going to fit perfectly behind here, allowing you to glue it on. So just cut right on the line. Don't cut like this side of it or inside of it. Just cut straight on the line. And what I do is I pick the first cut. Just go straight up. Okay, go to the edge and then go across. And your cutting doesn't have to be 100% perfect because it's going to be hidden behind the white lines that are part of your die cut here at the front. Okay, so you're not going to see your edges. So you see what I did? I went straight up this side and straight across the top. Now I can go straight down the other side. And again, if you've got a good light in the room that you watch TV in, take it out there and do it there. Or turn on a show or an audiobook or whatever it is you like to listen to. So once you get the box cut out, now you're just going to go up. Just break it down into sections. And then you're going to go over. Okay, and that piece is going to pop out. Then you're going to do the same thing here. And the reason you want to use repositionable tape is that you're going to be peeling off this piece on the top. And the repositionable tape is going to allow you to do that. Do not use your regular adhesive on this because you'll just rip your snowflake paper underneath and then you got to start all over again. Plus you only have one set of templates, so you can't be messing these up, and they're kind of a one-time use thing. But if you cut them both out at the same time, it just makes it super easy. Okay, so there we go. We've got our M. So now you're going to peel off this top layer. And some of the residue from the repositionable adhesive may end up on your snowflake paper. That's no big deal. You just rub it off with your finger like this. Okay, and it just comes right off. It just balls up and disappears. So there's our M. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip to the back side of this. And this is where we're going to use our glue press. And of course, my lid's been off for like 4 or 5 days now. So I'm just going to use a pin in the end just to make sure that that's open. I did not put my lid on like I was a bad girl. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to run your adhesive along the edge. Oops, not too much. So this is where the control of the glue press is absolutely amazing. So you can decide how much you want to squeeze, but it just allows you to squeeze your glue out all along the edge. And then, so here's where I've got the glue. So I'm on the reverse side. You can see the glue there. Now I'm going to take this and with the snowflake down, I'm going to place this right over top of the M. Now I'm going to hold this up so you can see. Just let me slide this into place. Okay, so see how it fits just inside the lines. And that's going to dry. So when I flip this over, that's what you see. Like a pro. So now what I'm going to do once I've done this is I'm going to grab a couple of my magnets and I'm going to plunk them on here just to give them some pressure. And that's going to glue in place. And it's just going to tack up and it's going to be great. So while that's sitting there, you go ahead with the next letter and you do exactly the same thing. So you're going to cut out the E and you're going to put it right here, right next to the edge, as close to the edge as you can get. And then you're going to do that all the way across to get the whole word memories. And if you run out of room here, you have a little bit of room here, and then you have extra paper here to cut that strip that you need for that. But it is so easy to do, like really. And that's all you do. Even this part right here that got faded out when I stamped it, I'm not even worried about it because you're only going to see a small portion of it and it's not going to be a big deal. So that is how you do the whole thing. And you do the same thing with the winter part, but you're going to do it out of that blue dot paper that we have here. You cut the center out of this, and then you're going to have that whole center piece to cut out that that winter word. And then you're going to end up with a title that looks like this. And it takes no time at all, but that's how awesome it is. Isn't that great? Do you guys love it? I love it. It's so fun. And the title is very impactful. So I had it running down the side. You can have it running this way. You can do whatever you want. But I quite like that. I liked using the two different papers because I thought it worked really well. You can do it all in the blue if you want to, but it's very, very easy to do. Don't be intimidated by it at all. It's all designed to work really well. And if you do that technique where you just cut out the template and your paper at the same time, it's very, very easy. And it is designed so that there is a little bit of room. You can kind of see that little border all the way around. And then when you do the E will overlap on top of this a little bit because that's part of that piece. It's totally okay. Yes, I will bring in more. As long as they're available, we can bring in more. They're really cool. You usually get 2 titles in a package, but it's super fun. And people are going to think that you made this yourself. And you're going to tell them, yes, I did. I love it. Like, it's so fun. So we will go on a little hunt for more titles. And there will be, I think, at least one more page this year where we do a large title like this. Because I think I have the title that says favorite season. I'm just not sure which season I'm going to use it for yet, but it's pretty fun. You could even, where's my pictures? I have some extra pictures here. Let me find them. And I actually almost did this. Okay, here's one here. So I have this picture of Olivia. I'm trying to decide which one will be good. But you can even use a photo for your O or something like that. You don't have to use the paper for everything. You can fill in with a photo or something like that. So that's a cool idea too. And you use exactly the same technique for that as you do the pattern paper. So pretty fun, right? Okay, do I have to cover anything else? It's a fun idea, right? I know. Look at her just peeking through there. Like, that is so fun. So you can totally do that. I almost did it, but then I didn't. Okay. I have to stop talking or I'm really going to start coughing here. But does anybody else have any questions that they would like answered before I sign off? Because we are at almost 2 hours. And I knew this would be a long one because we were doing the title page and the January page all in one shot. So Shelby's going to activate all of the products in the shopping section. And then you guys can go to town and shop till you drop and pick up the new calendar page and stuff. Oh, no, sorry. It's not a calendar page anymore. It's Moments and Memories. And here's how we came up with the title. So we always do 2 sides to the page. And this is the main memory of the month. So that's the memories. And these are the moments. So it's a random smattering of photos from the whole month. So moments and memories. That's what we do. And so that's what we're calling. Oh, there's sweet little Cooper. See, he didn't make the page, but he was one of the pictures. So moments and memories. That's what we do moving forward. But it is our old calendar series, and we are running it for the whole year. I do not have plans at this time of not continuing it. So we get a very good response from it. I love it. It's my own personal way of scrapbooking, and I just love to share it with you guys. So, yeah, that's it. Oh yes, Tan, you're here a bit late. So yes, we did change up our title for the month. We are just going with one solid color. It will coordinate each month with the papers that we're doing. There's a few colors available this month while quantities left. M&M Club. Oh yeah. Yes. Well, we like to keep things fresh and fun and always evolving and changing and updating, and we get bored quick. So we like to keep it spicy. So we're the M&M Club. That's right. All right, ladies, I'm going to sign out for tonight, and we will see you again soon. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by.